All right, so this is a suggestion via a channel member. The name of the video is Welcome to the World of Oligarchy. This is coming from the channel Senator Bernie Sanders. All right, let's check it out, guys.
Hello, everybody. As I am sure you have heard, there is a lot that's going on here in Washington, D.C. So let me say a few words and try to explain it. Bottom line, after all is said and done, is that after months of negotiations, Senate Democrats and House Republicans reached an agreement called a continuing resolution, which would continue to fund the government for 3 months. Frankly, that agreement was not something that I was all that excited about, but it was better than nothing. And I was prepared and am prepared to vote for it. And one of the reasons is
something
that
healthcare
it
oriented, no
contained
doubt.
A reasonable increase in funding for primary health care.
Yeah, guys, if you guys know anything about this man, he basically is like the champion, let's say, of healthcare in the United States of America, guys. So if he says he doesn't like something, and then if he's like, listen, the only reason why I'm going to sign this bill is because of something, it's going to most likely, almost always, 100% be healthcare.
Something that I feel very strongly about and that my committee, the Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Committee, is responsible for. And given the enormous crises that we're facing in healthcare in this country today, it really would be of help to many millions of Americans. What this legislation would do is significantly, or modestly at least, increase funding for community health centers all over this country, which treat about 30 million Americans who are low income or working class. And it would also increase the number of young doctors who go out into rural America and also into underserved areas. That is where we need the doctors and the nurses, and that's what this legislation would do.
And of course, because most of America is low income or working class. That's the majority of America.
In any case, within the House of Representatives, the Republican House, and the Democratic Senate, there was widespread agreement on this resolution, and it was just about ready to be passed. In fact, the Republicans posted it on their website. We were ready to go.
Okay.
But then, out of nowhere, the wealthiest man in the world, Elon Musk, began tweeting his opposition to this legislation. In fact, he was very blunt about it. He told Republicans that if they voted for this proposal, which they had already agreed to do, he would take out his wallet and spend as much money as it took to defeat them in primaries and drive them out of office.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. I was trying to understand exactly what we're calling an oligarchy. And I guess in this context, almost by definition, that is by definition an oligarchy, let's say, right? But to my knowledge, what's kind of going on, at least on that front, is they really do not want, specifically the incoming presidency, they do not, under any circumstance, want anything that's going to lock them out of access over their next 4 years, bro. That's just, I think, the reality, at least coming from on their end, at least of the scenario here. And I get it, right? I absolutely get it. Bernie Sanders, and along with many other people, are going to be absolutely upset by this because they are, in fact, trying to also, in fact, put blockades right in front of the incoming president that's coming in, guys. At least that's what it looks like on the outside here, guys.
Got that?
I get it.
Take a deep breath and appreciate what's going on here. The wealthiest person in the world, who spent at least $277 million to elect Donald Trump in a Republican Congress, has now claimed complete ownership of that party. And what you're saying is, hey, Republicans, forget your constituents, forget your constitutional responsibilities. If you don't do what I, Elon Musk, want you to do, you're out of office. And I have the money to do just that.
Well, friends, I mean, guys, we can't even argue that. Dude, I'm just going to be honest. I'm not even sure that's an arguable point here. If you have the money to do something like this, and then you throw your money around to do it, yeah, it kind of sounds like it, guys. I mean, I'm looking at the definition in my head here, and by definition, I think that's basically it. But again, if everyone is trying to lock out the incoming president before he even gets in, so none of his things can actually happen, Elon Musk steps in and saves the day. So I guess depending on what side you're on, you're going to see this massively different, I think, personally.
What we are looking at here has nothing to do with democracy. What we are looking at here is oligarchy. This is up and up. Government by the billionaire class for the billionaire class. And by the way, Musk is not only trying to intimidate Republicans, he is trying to inject himself into the Democratic Party as well. He is threatening to target Democrats who are standing up to him and his agenda. Further, and very dangerous.
This is what change looks like, guys.
And this is the guy, who owns Twitter. As part of his campaign to defeat this resolution, Musk has been spreading an enormous amount of disinformation and outright lies about what is in the bill. He said that the measure would include a 40% pay raise for Congress. That's a lie. It is a 3.9% increase, the same as federal employees are receiving.
Yeah, but the rest of America is not receiving this increase. In fact, their wages are basically stagnant.
He said that this legislation would fund bioweapons labs. Not true. In fact, it provides funds to protect Americans from emerging infectious diseases.
Okay.
He said that the country would be just fine if the government shut down. Really?
No.
Here's what happens if Mr. Musk gets his way and the deal implodes. Funding for kids' cancer research gets cut. At a time when we are already paying the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, pharmaceutical middlemen will be able to continue to overcharge you for your prescriptions. Americans recovering from devastating floods, fires, and hurricanes, often due to climate change, won't get the help that they need. That's what happens if the proposal goes down. And what happens if the government shuts down? Well, our troops won't get their paychecks. Nearly 7 million women and children who rely on WIC nutrition assistance could go hungry. And 2 million federal government workers, some of whom don't make a whole lot of money, won't be getting paid. Now let us be very clear.
Okay.
Elon Musk was not elected to be president of the United States.
Right.
In fact, he was not elected to be dog catcher.
Okay, yeah.
And by the way, what all of this hoopla is really about, above and beyond everything I'm talking about, is that when Trump and Musk come into power in late January.
Why are you saying Musk? Because the thing about this here, guys, is that Elon Musk could have done the same thing even if Trump did not kind of like give him any type of, let's say, organization. Let's say like Doge. He could have done the same thing anyway. Okay.
January. Do you know what their first order of business will be? You think it'll be to fix healthcare? You think it'll be deal with climate change? Deal with homelessness? Well, if you thought that, you're dead wrong. Their first order of business will be to provide massive tax breaks for the wealthiest people in this country and the largest corporations. So think about it. At a time of unprecedented income and wealth inequality, when Musk himself is worth almost $500 billion, what these guys want to do is give more tax breaks to billionaires and the heads of large corporations. So where do we go from here? Let us understand the gravity of what we are dealing with. This is not politics as usual. This is not just Democrats versus Republicans.
It hasn't been for a long time, though.
Versus liberals or progressives. It's much deeper than that. What we are dealing with right now is that the billionaire class, which owns so much of our economy, which owns so much of our media, they are now moving aggressively to own our political system as well. So we got a lot of work in front of us. We've got to educate. We've got to organize.
That's not
and
new,
we
though.
have got to stop them. Thank you very much. Have a great holiday season.
All right, Bernie Sanders. Guys, here's the thing. I like Bernie Sanders. Right? I take that kind of how you want to take it, I guess, in this context here. But like, yeah, I like him. And the reason why I like him is because he's honest. Right? Like he's just real. He says the things that obviously need to be said. Now, do I specifically agree with every single thing? No, and I think that's a good thing. All right, because again, echo chambers are weird, bro. All right, but bro, here's the thing. Anyone that will, let's say, make healthcare reasonable, okay, is fine by me because it is crazy, right? And it's the reason why, if anything happens, I will literally fly to my second home location in Spain. I'm not going to the doctors here for nothing. In America, forget that. Why would I do that? Like, why would I do that? It's crazy, guys. I'm never doing that. No, if I have the choice and chance to, I'm getting on a plane, all right, and going somewhere else because it'll be cheaper. In fact, to get anything done or looked at somewhere else than here. I'm talking plane flight and probably a week stay in your favorite exotic location is cheaper. Listen, cut these middlemen out. Yeah. Now, guys, when it comes down to the concept of him basically saying that the United States of America is going to turn into some type of oligarchy, bro, it's been an oligarchy. Kinda. Right? The extreme wealthy have been able to basically get politicians to do whatever, and I mean whatever they wanted. These lobbyists, bro, we have not actually had a say in what we wanted in a very long time. Every single country on earth is just taking advantage of us. Bernie Sanders seems to only almost exclusively blame like the rich in these contexts, but I can see that because they're the ones kind of doing this, right? To a certain extent, like gigantic corporations, these are the ones who are ruining our country. Okay, in fact, everyone is taking advantage of us by all definitions, and what I want is for someone to go in, and again, I'm not someone who is party loyal. I don't care about these parties like that, bro, at all. They're basically the same thing, but done differently. Well, they used to be. I'd say kind of like before the misandrists basically took over the whole Democrat Party. But like, they're basically the same thing, all right? Except now, like I said, like one hates men and one wants men to be men. That's kind of that's kind of how I see it on the outside, right? But again, Bernie Sanders, he's a populist, right? I mean, when he speaks, people tend to listen regardless of party, guys. And that's kind of one of these things that I find intriguing about him, at least. He is looking for change. And I think the United States of America desperately, almost exclusively, needs drastic change. And I don't care who's going to change it. Just change it now. All right? Now, the concept of like, a couple of billionaires getting together and trying to fix things, how much of it is real and how much of it is talk, right? A lot of it is talk, okay? But what I do like and enjoy, at least the thought experiment of Doge being able to actually do something. But of course, knowing in the back of my mind that Doge may not be able to do much exclusively because of Congress, right? And Congress is not going to sign these things. They're not going to be like, oh, you know what? You're right. You're right. Maybe we should, stop doing irrelevant programs that only the left cares about. Maybe we should stop paying, hundreds of millions of dollars on random, projects and grants that have literally nothing to do with the United States of America. They're all just passion projects of virtue signaling, ignoramuses, let's say. All right. That's kind of what's happening here. So guys, anyone that has the ability for change, and guys, and don't forget that there's a gigantic amount of people who voted for Bernie twice, okay? And they saw exactly what the Democrat Party did to this man every single time. They do not like populists. And it's crazy because it's like, bro, you're about to lose to them consistently. Trump won, he's a populist, right? He talks about change. He talks about breaking up the establishment, right or left. That's what he talks about, right? How true is it? Who knows? But he talks about it. Bernie Sanders did the same exact thing. Right? And then a lot of people who voted for him twice, like I said, before him, voted for Obama. Then much later on, they started to see exactly what the Democrat Party is about. You got rid of like one of the most popular candidates in modern history. Where did these individuals run to? Now they're voting Trump. Completely different political ideologies, guys. Completely different, right? Because all people want right now is change. Change things up, bro. Please. Just do it. Do it for the memes, guys. Just change it. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day. Thoroughly. This is my lightsaber. Hey guys, you guys subscribe to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Oh, also, Mr. L. Boyd Discusses. Guys, check it out. And if you haven't heard it today, you're amazing.